Ever get that feeling where you just know, like you know that there's a piece of information somewhere in your brain, but when you actually try to, find it, it's like, I don't know, it's like trying to find a lost sock in a black hole. Turns out AI researchers, uh, they kind of feel our pain on that one. That's why they've been, working on building these smarter memory systems for AI. And today, we're diving deep into one approach, well, one particularly fascinating approach, I think, and that is hierarchical memory. It's basically like giving an AI this multi-layered library for its mind, and it could really change everything, from how AI learns to how it interacts with the world and everything in between.
Yeah, what's really interesting here is we're not just taking a bunch of information and dumping it into like a giant digital warehouse. We're talking about a system where knowledge is actually structured. It's interconnected. It's kind of like, imagine a concept map, but on steroids. And this kind of structure, it allows for a way more efficient and I think more importantly, a more intuitive way to, store and retrieve information. And that's really key for AI to become, truly intelligent.
So it's not even just about remembering more, right?
Yeah.
It's about remembering smarter. So can you break down this whole multi-layered library concept for us a little bit? Like what are the different floors of this AI brain?
Absolutely. So imagine, right, you've got a library. It's got multiple levels. Each one serves a specific purpose. So like on the ground level, right, you've got what we call immediate memory. This is kind of like the library's reception area, right? It's processing that sensory input in real time. It's fleeting. It's constantly being updated with all this new information. It's really like, the AI's first impression of the world.
Okay, so that's for all the right now stuff. But what about all the things that an AI needs to hold on to for just a bit longer?
Right. So then we move up, one floor up, we have short-term memory. So this is where the AI will keep track of, the ongoing tasks, any conversations that it's having, really any of the information that it needs to juggle in its like mental workspace, right? So think of it like the reading room in a library where you're temporarily holding on to, the books you're using at that moment.
So it's kind of like RAM, but for the AI brain. And then I'm assuming the top floor is where all of the like real long-term knowledge lives.
Precisely. The top floor, this is long-term memory. This is the vast stacks of the library. And this is where all that knowledge is organized, categorized, and stored for future use. This is where things get, really interesting because we're talking about, structuring all of this knowledge in a way that allows for meaningful connections and also efficient retrieval.
Okay, hold on. I'm already feeling a little lost in this metaphorical library, to be honest. Can we get a little bit more concrete here? Like, why is this hierarchical structure so important for AI? What problem does it actually solve?
So imagine you're trying to find a specific book and you're in a library that has absolutely zero organization whatsoever, right? It would be a nightmare. And that's essentially what we're trying to avoid in AI, right? A hierarchical memory system, it allows for what we call semantic organization. So you're grouping related concepts together. You're creating relationships between different pieces of information. Essentially what you're doing is you're building this map of knowledge and it's, easy to navigate.
So it's like having the Dewey Decimal System, but for the AI mind. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But how does that translate into actual benefits for the AI? Like, why should we care if an AI can find information in its own little digital library a little bit faster?
It's about way more than just speed, although efficiency is definitely, a key advantage. But think about how you use your own memory. You don't just store facts in isolation, right? You connect them to other ideas, other experiences, emotions. That's what allows you to learn and reason and make decisions.
Okay, I see where you're going with this. So by organizing knowledge hierarchically, we're not just, giving an AI a bigger memory, we're giving it a more meaningful memory.
Exactly. This structured approach, it allows AI to, make inferences, draw connections between, seemingly totally random pieces of information. And ultimately, it allows it to understand the world in a way richer, more meaningful way.
All right, I'm officially intrigued. But you know me. I'm the kind of person who really needs to see how things actually work in practice. So can we dive into some real-world examples of how this whole hierarchical memory magic is actually being used out there?
Absolutely. Let's start with something that we all interact with, almost every single day, online search engines.
Okay, search engines. I mean, I use those like every day. But I don't usually think about them as, having some sort of sophisticated memory system. So how does hierarchical memory actually come into play there?
Well, think about how you search for something online, right? You type in a few keywords, And then that search engine, it has to sift through like billions of web pages just to find the most relevant results for you. A hierarchical memory system, what it does is it allows the search engine to understand the relationships between those keywords and other concepts. And this actually makes the whole search process so much more efficient and accurate.
So it's not just about like matching words. It's about understanding the intent behind the search.
Exactly. So like, let's say you search for, best coffee shops in Seattle. Now, a simple keyword search. That might return pages that mention like coffee in Seattle. But they're not actually about coffee shops at all. But a search engine that has this hierarchical memory, it can understand that coffee shops, they're a type of business, that Seattle is a city, and that best, well, that implies a ranking or a recommendation.
Well.
And so then it can narrow down the results to only show you the pages that are specifically about, highly rated coffee shops in Seattle.
That makes a lot of sense. So like the search engine is building like
Yeah.
this little mental model of the world just to try to understand what I'm actually looking for.
Yeah, exactly. And you can apply this same principle to like a whole range of applications, like voice assistants that can understand those really complex commands, or recommendation systems that can like suggest products or services based on like your past behavior and preferences and stuff.
Speaking of voice assistants, I've always wondered like, how do they keep track of all the different things we ask them to do? Is that where hierarchical memory comes in?
Absolutely. So imagine, right, you ask your voice assistant to like set a reminder to pick up milk tomorrow at 5 p.m. And then you follow it up with like, also add bananas to my shopping list. A hierarchical memory system that allows is for the assistant to understand that both of those requests, they're actually related to the same overall task, which is, grocery shopping. Yeah. And then it can store that information in a way that, makes it really easy to access later and act on.
So it's like having like a personal assistant who can actually like connect the dots and anticipate my needs.
Yeah, and this is like just scratching the surface. Hierarchical memory is also being used to develop AI systems that can like learn from their own experiences, much like humans do. And this is super important for things like, robotics, where an AI needs to be able to navigate these like really complex environments and adapt to like those unexpected situations that always seem to pop up.
That's fascinating. So instead of like just programming a robot with like a set of instructions, we can give it a memory system that lets it like learn and improve over time.
Exactly. Like think about a robot that has to clean a house. With a hierarchical memory system, it can remember not only the layout of the house, but also like learn from its past mistakes, like bumping into furniture or missing a spot. And this allows the robot to become more efficient and effective over time, just like a human cleaner would.
Okay, I'm starting to like see the bigger picture here.
Yeah.
Hierarchical memory. It's not just like, some cool technical trick. It's like a fundamental building block for creating AI that is truly intelligent, adaptable, capable of like learning and evolving.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. It's about moving beyond those like simple rule-based systems and moving towards AI that can like understand context, make connections, and learn from experience. And that's where things get really exciting.
Before we get too carried away with the future of AI, let's bring it back to our listener for a second. Like, why should they care about all of this? What's the real world impact of these advancements in AI memory?
Well, the implications are huge. We're talking about AI that can like personalize our experiences, automate those super complex tasks that like nobody wants to do, and even help us solve some of the world's most pressing problems.
Okay, let's unpack that a little bit. Can you give us some like concrete examples of how this might play out in the real world?
Absolutely. Let's start with something close to home, right? Personalized healthcare. Imagine an AI system that can access your entire medical history, understand like your individual needs, and then recommend personalized treatment plans just for you.
Personalized healthcare powered by AI. It sounds kind of amazing, but also like a little bit unnerving, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a pretty powerful concept, and it definitely raises those big questions about data privacy and security, But imagine the potential here, like early detection of diseases, treatment plans that are customized, like they take into account your genetic predispositions and lifestyle factors, and even like AI-powered assistance that could help you like actually manage those chronic conditions.
So it's not even just about like treating diseases anymore. It's about like preventing them in the first place. I mean, that's pretty revolutionary.
It is, and this is just one example. Think about the impact on, education. AI systems could, create these personalized learning plans, tailored to each student's needs and their own learning style, or even in the realm of, scientific discovery. AI with hierarchical memory could help researchers, sift through all of this data, identify patterns, and maybe make those breakthroughs that would have been impossible otherwise.
It sounds like we're, right on the edge of some pretty incredible advancements.
Yeah.
But I also have to wonder, if AI is getting this good at learning and problem solving, what does that even mean for, the future of work? Are we all just going to be replaced by robots with superpowered memories?
Yeah, that's a question that a lot of people are asking, and it is definitely a valid concern. But I think it's more likely that AI will augment human capabilities rather than replace us entirely.
So it's not about AI versus humans. It's about AI and humans working together.
Exactly. AI can handle all those repetitive tasks.
Yeah.
It can process information incredibly fast. It can identify those patterns that humans might miss entirely. But humans, we bring creativity, empathy, critical thinking, and the ability to make judgments in these complex situations, right? The nuanced situations. So by combining our strengths, we can achieve things that neither humans nor AI could do on their own.
Okay, that's a much more optimistic outlook. So it's not about fearing the rise of the machines, right? It's about embracing the potential for collaboration.
Exactly. And I think hierarchical memory plays a key role in this whole collaboration thing. By giving AI this more human-like way of understanding and organizing information, we can create systems that are not only powerful, but also intuitive and easy for us humans to interact with.
So it's not just about making AI smarter, right?
Yeah.
It's about making it more compatible with human intelligence.
Exactly. And I think that's what's so exciting about this whole field. We're not just building machines, we're building bridges between the human mind and the digital world.
Well, listeners, we've covered a lot of ground today. We've explored the intricacies of hierarchical memory. We've dived into some real-world examples, and we've even pondered, the future of AI and its impact on humanity.
And one thing's for sure, this is just the beginning. As research in AI memory continues to move forward, we can expect to see even more incredible applications emerge, transforming the way we live, work, and interact with the world around us.
So keep your minds open, keep your curiosity piqued, and join us next time for another deep dive into the fascinating world of artificial intelligence.